It's your favorite day of the week! What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my Tish art. Thank you guys so much for coming back. How's your week been? I feel like, we had Tiny Painting Tuesday last week, didn't we? It feels like a long time since I've been here chatting with you guys. No? Just me? Okay. Today on Tiny Painting Tuesday, we did have a poll, and this week you guys voted for otters holding hands as the subject for the Tiny Painting Tuesday today. So if you guys watched last week's video with Leo, you saw me kill it in the Guess What I'm Painting challenge, and while the end result wasn't what I had hoped it would be, I did get it right, and I do think that I should get shoes. Me and Leo have been arguing about who won. I think it's obvious. If you didn't watch the video, I'll put a little right there. You can just go ahead and click it, watch that, and then come on back and then let me know who won in the comments here. But today, I'm gonna take this Curious George and I'm going to recycle the canvas and attempt to cover it up somehow and paint two otters holding hands, like floating in a river. Where do otters hang out? In a stream, in a creek? So that's what we're gonna do today. While I'm painting, as you guys can probably see from the title, we're gonna be talking about what to expect when you go to therapy. And who best to get this information from than a future therapist and a person who frequents therapy, because anyway, let's get started. So this video is for literally anyone, but more specifically, this is for people who are considering going to therapy, are curious about what therapy is like, have thought about going to therapy but are too scared to just take that first step in making a phone call and going into therapy. So the way that I think that we'll start it off is by just addressing the fact that therapy is literally for everybody. Everyone can benefit from therapy. You don't need to have a lot of things going on. You don't need to go in there with like some big tragic like life event. You don't have to have something big or something debilitating to go to therapy. Like, I feel like a lot of people think that therapy is for people who are going through something, or like a divorce, or grieving a family member, or are struggling with mental health symptoms and just need help dealing with it and coping with it. And while therapy is for those people, therapy is also for the regular schmegulars who are walking around all day and you are tired, exhausted, burnt out from your job. Your boyfriend won't pick up his socks. He keeps walking around the house with wet feet and getting the bathroom all wet and the bathroom rug all wet and leaving wet towels all over the ground, and it's just stressing you out to the point where you just like don't have energy for anybody or anything else. And so then like your work suffers, which, girlfriend, I'm talking to you. I know, you know what I'm talking about. Your work suffers, your relationship suffers, your mental health suffers. Maybe you used to work out all the time and now you just don't because you don't have any motivation to do that. Maybe you used to be like really into art and work got in the way and you feel like you're missing out on something. You feel like you have some regrets. Maybe things are going great and you just want to be better. You want to learn about yourself. You want to learn about your tendencies. You want to be a better partner. You want to be a better sibling. You want to be a better friend. You want to be a better individual in general. Therapy is for you. So let's just get that out of the way. Therapy is for everyone. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't feel ashamed for going to therapy. I go to therapy every other week. I wish it was every single day. But that hour is literally the fastest and the most just like calming, cleansing. I mean, sometimes it's not calm because I'm sobbing because I cry all the fucking time. But when I leave with something every single time. And so whether it was a really hard session where I had to be like really honest with myself and just was like realizing that I'm just like not shit like everybody else, I still left with something, you know what I mean? So if you're out there like, I just feel like I'm missing something, I feel like I need something to help me be better, therapy is for you. If you are struggling with grief, if you're struggling with negative thoughts, if you're struggling with relationships, therapy is for you. If you are tired all the time, lacking some motivation, feeling like you don't have a purpose, feeling like you are struggling with connecting with others and building relationships and friendships, therapy is fucking for you, okay? You hear me? It's for you. It's for everybody. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That whole thing about making fun of people for going to therapy or like talking down about people for going to therapy, that shit's dead, okay? It's 2019. Self-care every day. Do what you gotta do for you, okay? Okay, boo. And if someone says something, you be like, you know what? Tish said therapy's cool, so I'm going to therapy. So I thought that this was gonna cover much nicer, but obviously I had to just like paint over the entire thing, which no problem. I like this color better anyway. So one of the reasons that I'm making this video is because I feel like there are a lot of common like misconceptions about what therapy is like based on the media and what television and books and movies and magazines and whatever tells us that therapy is like. A therapist is not gonna tell you what to do. If you're going into therapy because you have this existential life crisis and you need answers today, like you just got offered a job in San Francisco and you live in New York and your family's in New York and it's a really great opportunity, but your boyfriend says that you shouldn't go because you guys built something big here and blah, 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 whatever. And you're going to therapy to be like, hey, therapist, what do I do? Should I go or should I stay? They're not gonna give you a yes or no answer. They're not gonna be like, you know what, Pauline, you should go because X, Y, and Z. And they're not gonna be like, you know what, Pauline, you should stay because of X, Y, and Z. What they are gonna do is they're gonna help you reflect on what your priorities are, what's important to you, why the decision is hard in the first place, and help you come to a decision that's best for yourself. At no point will a therapist say to you, you should do this, go do that. And if they do, tell them that Tish said that she's learning that you're not supposed to do that. And in my experience, they don't do that because my therapist, she's dope, I love her, and there are so many times where I'm like, what do I do? And girlfriend's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, shut up, okay? Let's not do this today. I just need an answer. But like at the end of the day, like I said, I always leave with something because she forces me to sit back, reflect, why is this hard? Why am I thinking about it? What's important to me? What's gonna make me feel the best? And how can I go about that? So if you're going in there to get some question answered, they're not psychic. They're not an advice column. They're just there to help you reframe your thinking, to help you think about it from a different situation, have an unbiased, objective or subjective. I always get those two mixed up. Whichever one is not an opinion, like no bias, like just a objective, subjective, you know what I mean? Like an unbiased perspective on the situation to help you come to a conclusion / answer that is best for you. You know what I mean? Schnurr, I'm saying. So don't expect that because you're gonna be frustrated and it's not happening. Call Ms. Cleo if that's what you're looking for. Look what you done to me. I can't stop these tears from falling from my eyes. Ooh, baby, I'm going down. I'm going down. So the next thing, which I think is also a common misconception, is that When you go into therapy, it's gonna be you lying on the couch. The therapist is sitting at their desk with their glasses on and their little notepad, and they're like, so, tell me about your feelings. So, tell me about your childhood. So, tell me about your mother. Or being like, and how does that make you feel? And how does that make you feel? Not all therapists are the same. And yeah, you might get a therapist where they'll have a big, comfy, long couch and you can sit on the couch and lay back and they want to talk about your feelings and they want to talk about your family and they want to talk about your childhood and whatever. But if that's not your jam, there are a million, billion, trillion other therapists out there who I am certain do therapy much different. Some therapy is art. You can do art therapy where you're painting or drawing, or truthfully, I don't know much about art therapy and I'm kind of trying to learn more, but I'm assuming that you're gonna do more physical, like painting, drawing, ripping up paper, clay, just like art while doing therapy. There's other therapy, there's like movement therapy, body therapy, there's like mindfulness. You'll do, like, some therapists are really into meditation, and so you'll start a session with a meditation. There's EMDR. There's all different sorts of therapy. Some people, they'll have bean bags on the floor. You can sit on the bean bags. You can sit cross-legged on the couch. You can stand up if you want. It does not matter, and they're not all gonna ask about your childhood or your mom or your parents or things like that. Like, it just depends on the therapist. And one of the biggest things, I think, is that you find somebody that you vibe with. You're not gonna vibe with every single person you meet. You're not gonna be friends with every single person that you come into contact with. It's the exact same with your therapist. You need to find somebody that you, A, are gonna feel comfortable with, B, seems to be helping you the way that you need to be helped, and C, I don't remember what I said for A. Basically, that you feel comfortable with. And so it's okay to go into a therapy session. Like, let's say you came to see therapist Tish, and I was like, let's get out the markers. And you're like, coloring's dumb. You can be like, this isn't for me. Can I have some referrals? I want to go somewhere else. It's okay. They won't take it personal. It's their job. They want you to get the help that you need. And so it's important that you find somebody who can help you the way that you want to be helped. There's so many different types of therapies. Just think of all the different fields, all the different things you can focus on. There's trauma therapists, there's couple therapists, there's child therapists, there's play therapists, there's art therapists, massage therapists, movement therapists, all different types. So do your research, find one that works for you. They're a good place to go for a referral. If you don't know, you can go to psychologytoday.com and just type in your zip code and they can give you a list of therapy providers in your area, and you can just basically go down the list. And what I did is I Googled it and then called the first place, and then I said, hey, do you take this insurance? And they were like, no, but I can give you a few referrals for places that do take that insurance. That's another thing you can do. Find a place that uses your insurance, you know? You know what I'm saying? Which brings me to my next point. But Tish, therapy's so expensive. Well, yeah. So is that $50 gym membership that you haven't used since last New Year because you were gonna get fit summer 2019, but guess what? It's already fall and we're already looking at New Year, New Me 2020. So is that $300 bridesmaid's dress that you bought for your best friend's wedding that you wore once and you're never gonna wear again because it's atrocious. Therapy is expensive, but so is a lot of other things that you waste your money on. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's an investment in your mental health and your growth, your personal growth. Your mental health is priceless. Can you put a number on that? Go ahead, do it. Put a number on your mental health. Put a number on your sanity. Go. Go. Okay then. Therapy is fucking expensive. I'm gonna just say it. It's expensive. The difference is therapy is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your mental health. It's you being empathetic to your future self, you know? You do all these other things to take care of yourself. You sleep, you eat, you breathe, you spend time with friends, you relax, you sit on the couch, you go exercise, you do all of these things to help better yourself. But so often we forget about, you know, our mental. And if that shit's not in order, you can't do anything. Let's be for real. Like, let's be for real. Have you ever been like so overwhelmed because like it just felt like every single thing was at you and you didn't know what to do? Ah! So then you just like stopped completely? Right? I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So yes, while therapy is expensive, there are a lot of ways to help cover therapy. So like I said before, find a place that accepts your insurance. Like, call around. If you find a place on Psychology Today, you can call and say, hey, do you accept blah, 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 blah? And if they're like, no, then ask them, like, do you have any referrals for places that do? And they will be more than happy to send you a list. So insurance covers a part of it. They have sliding scales at a lot of different places. So just like let the people know like what your financial situation is, and they'll help try and make that more inexpensive for you. If you're in college, they have free services on college campuses a lot of times. They have like the walk-in clinic where you can just go in and get free therapy services at school. Give me a reason why you wouldn't go. So the last and probably the most important point that I want to make is that therapy is hard. And so, yeah, it's good for you. It sounds great. Like, I'm gonna go to therapy and I'm gonna self-reflect and I'm gonna work on my mental health and I'm just gonna come out and be the best version of myself and I'm gonna be amazing. Well, yeah, a lot of times that's true. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. So if you go into therapy wanting to do some self-reflection and really work on some relationships and work on your ability to communicate and work on your ability to process and work on just you will have to put into some work. And there are gonna be times where you're gonna have to really look inward and check yourself. Like, there have been multiple times in therapy where I'm like, oh shit, was it me? Was I tripping? And my therapist is like, do you think you were tripping? You know what I mean? And so it's like, be prepared to be honest with yourself and to be honest with your therapist. It's okay to tell your therapist things that you maybe wouldn't tell your partner or your best friend or your family or whatever. It's their job to listen without any judgment and to keep your information confidential. So you need to really work at, one, being honest with your therapist, being honest with yourself, and being prepared for it getting hard, because it will get hard. It's not fun to look at yourself and really point the finger at yourself and figure out, like, what do I need to work on? That's not something that a lot of people just like think about all the time. Like, what could I work on? What could I do better? It's really easy to go and just shit on everyone and everything around you. But a lot of the work in therapy is like, well, what can you do about it? How can you improve? You know? And so it's hard, which is scary. It's scary to be vulnerable. It's scary to take accountability. It's scary to take a look in the mirror and be truthful with yourself. Therapy is a place where you can do that with support, without judgment. It's an opportunity to really just look in the mirror and figure out how you can be a better version of you. And if that is too scary or sounds unappealing, that's fine. Therapy is for everyone, but that doesn't mean you have to go. But if there are people around you who are willing to take that risk and are willing to take a look at themselves in the mirror, what purpose does it serve making them feel like shit for doing something that's vulnerable, that's scary, that's expensive, to help better themselves? It's 2019, okay? Mental health is in. How's it looking? If you like videos like this, you like talking about mental health, let me know. Like, I have so many ideas. I would love to like continue talking about this because I'm like so passionate. And if you have any questions, more specific questions about therapy, I mean, like we all know I'm just a first year, well, now I'm a second year grad student. I am not a licensed therapist, nor am I equipped to provide therapy to anyone, nor am I going to be willing to do that. So don't like DM me like, what do I do? Because I'm gonna refer you to Psychology Today, you know? But if there's anything you want to hear, you want me to talk about something mental health related, let me know in the comments. I would love to keep talking about this topic. I'm super passionate about it. And yeah, that's it. This is where we're at right now, kittens. I don't know if I can revive it. I should have done these last. Wasn't thinking, but I'll fix it. Bear with me. All right, YouTube, here's the final piece. I'll show a close-up at the end. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment. Please share with your friends. Like I said before, if this is something that you're interested in, you want to hear more videos or want to hear me talk more about my thoughts on therapy and mental health, just leave a comment. I'm very passionate about this stuff, so your girl could talk for days. If you guys have any questions, if you want to see some more of my art, you can follow me on Instagram at @itishart. Again, I do a poll on Fridays typically where I will leave an option for people to suggest what they want to see for Tiny Painting Tuesday, and then you can vote, and then it's here. So, that's it. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you next Tuesday. I post new videos every single Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday. Okay, bye.